Hey there folks, Andrew Griffiths here, talking about product architecture for authors. So what that really relates to is that most people who I work with, in particular myself, we're what we call commercial authors, where you're writing your book for a very specific outcome. And most of it is to create opportunities, attract clients, all of those kind of things. The reality is, for that to happen, you've got to have what we would call a product architecture. And a product architecture means you offer a range of products that are going to be of appeal and of value to your ideal reader. Now, often I will have someone come to me and say, okay, I want to write a book about business, and I sell an online course. And that's what I want this book to then drive sales to. And I look at that and kind of go, well, it's not really a product architecture. That's a product. That's one thing. And sometimes, sure, a book can sell one thing, reasonably well, but it's far less likely to have significance and benefit and real commercial outcome as well, I might add. I encourage my authors to spend time working on their product architecture before they start to build their book, before they start to really write their book. And what we really want, and there's a whole pile of different terms and names for this type of things, ascending transaction models, descending transaction models, ATMs, etc. But you want to have, first and foremost, a really easy entry point for someone who's reading the book to start. And that might be a strategy session, I like it to be something personal, a live kind of masterclass or a workshop or some kind of element where they can work with you a little bit more. And it kind of tends to be a relatively low cost kind of a product that is natural to go from the book into that particular first part of you. So they've got to know you in the book, now they're going to go there. Then you start to move into other products that offer a deeper kind of take on what it is you do. They're higher value. You might go to, a group program over 6 months. You might have a coaching program. You might have a retreat. You might have a range of things. So they increase in value. That's the ascending transaction model. But the reality is, what makes a product architecture really effective is if it's based on the model that your book is written around. So I read your book and I go, wow, that's a great model, bang. If you'd like to know more about this, you do my live masterclass, and then we dive a bit deeper on elements of that. If you want to do a coaching program with me, we're going to work through every part of that model, go deeper, deeper, deeper. 4-day retreat, we'll do the same. I think that that's the really effective way of doing it, because again, you're not kind of jumping from this idea to that idea. You're teaching someone about your work through your model, through your framework, through your IP, and you're just going deeper. This is also a bit of a stress test for your IP. So if you're an author and you're saying, okay, this is what my model is, can you, with that model, run, can you write a book around that model, but can you do a 1-hour webinar, a 3-hour masterclass, a 4-day retreat, a 1-day workshop, a 12-month coaching program? Is your model robust enough that you can go deep enough on that content over that period of time? If you can't, I'm going to hazard a guess and say that your book is going to lack substance, right? Because if the model isn't able to support that kind of product architecture, then there's probably not enough to the model. So, moral to the story here, that you've got to have a really well-developed product architecture before you start writing your book, and that's going to stress test whether or not your model is strong enough, deep enough, valuable enough, and just smart enough, to be kind of brutally honest. If it's not, you get the chance to go back, do more work on it, revise it, fix it, make it more before you write the book, and find people going, there's a lack of depth to it. When you're writing your book, then you can talk about your product architecture. You can talk about, what it is that you offer. You can do that kind of stuff, but you can also showcase that this model has great depth. Okay, so let me use an example in here. My latest book, The Business of Being an Author, I have a 12-driver model, and these are the 12 drivers that I believe you need to follow to build your business of being an author. And the 12 drivers, there's a graphic model, it's very obvious and well placed, and I give lots of examples on how to use it. So I can obviously write about that in the book, it's the main part of the book. I've done a masterclass, 3-hour masterclass around it. I'm offering one-day workshops around it. I've got a group program around it. I'm doing 6-month coaching program around it. I developed a podcast around it. You know, all of that. I'm not reinventing every time I'm doing that stuff. I'm actually just sharing the framework that I've already created because I know it's got enough depth, it's got enough substance behind it, okay? So that's kind of the moral to the story. So think about that with your own book, your own writing, and kind of going, right, how well developed is my product architecture? If it's not, well, you develop it or you work with someone like me to help you develop it. You know, it's all well and true to say you can offer coaching, but do you know how to coach? Excuse me. It's all well and true to offer, you know, workshops, but, you know, do you know how to run a workshop? So there's more to it than just saying, I'm going to do a workshop now, because there's a lot of people that do workshops that are very, very good at it. You gotta live up to that. So understand again, a commercially successful book will be heavily attached and based around a wise, strategic, well thought out product architecture that you can deliver. All right, hope you found that helpful, folks. Look forward to chatting to you about books again soon.